What up now? One day I get me a cameraman and stop jumping back and forth. It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line. This is Bully Rants. This topic, comes from a friend of mine's, and it was more so just, I guess, more on the educational side. What have I done as far as whelping litters go, and the best preventative methods to save puppies' lives. Uh, Some of the things when you whelp a litter, of course, we always start off with the heat factor. And that's of course after you've cleared out all the lungs and made sure that the breathing is good and getting that first feeding so you can get colostrum into the puppies, which they definitely need that to build their immune systems up in the first 48 hours. But typically the biggest issues you run across after that, if these are strong puppies that were meant to live in the first place, is body temperature. A lot of times, puppies have, they have an issue maintaining body weight, and it's always been, not body weight, body heat, and a stable temperature. It's been debated 48 hours, or some people believe the whole first week they have a lot of trouble maintaining their normal body temperature. So they do need the heating lamps and heating pads to help them stabilize that. Heat is one of your main things. Those puppies start getting cold and they're not going to make it. So keeping your puppies warm should be like number one on your list. Number two, and this is one of the things that I think as a lot of breeders that we don't pay close enough attention to, is watch for hydration. And I know a lot of us like, oh man, they getting the milk. Sometimes we can't really always test the mother's milk. We can't see how good it is, and we can't know all of the factors that are going in there. So typically what I'll do is I'll do the little pinch test with the skin to check for hydration and make sure that they're getting enough fluids. Always keep Pedialyte around. You can use, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use the syringe and I'll drip them a little bit of Pedialyte just cause. Especially during those first couple days, I can make sure they're getting on the nipple and make sure it's a lot of fluids there. But it doesn't hurt, especially if they're willing to take it down. I keep those electrolytes in there to make sure that they're staying hydrated, because once again, hydration is going to be one of the main reasons that they go like that. Now, of course, you do have those that don't feed, and this is something very tricky, and I tell everybody who has a litter to watch out for this. Every puppy that looks like he's nursing or looks like he's on the nipple and he's good, they're not. Sometimes you have some that go through the motions good and it looks like they're sucking, but their sucking action isn't that great and they're not getting enough milk. It doesn't have anything to do with a cleft palate or anything. You can have a perfectly normal puppy that just is not good at sucking and getting the milk from the mom. Pay very close attention to the weights on your puppies and make sure that these puppies are advancing in weight daily, because that can be an issue. And sometimes it does help to bottle feed if you see a puppy that's not gaining weight on a daily basis. And then you have those that don't even do good on the bottle. And some of them are born a little tiny, and that's when you might have to go into tube feeding. These are like my main things: just heat, hydration, and of course getting nutrition in there. If you have a mother and you test those nipples, and especially if you see blood come out or the milk looks a little funky, you can tell that this milk is going bad. The formula that I use, and I don't have specific measurements, so forgive me because I'm just not a specific measurement person, but typically what I'll do is I use eggs, yogurt, the plain yogurt, not any of the fruity stuff, but the plain yogurt and not that non-fat stuff. Get the good fatty stuff, and I use a whole milk. It's been debatable where they talk about goat's milk, but a lot of tests show that the cow's milk is more similar to what the dog has anyway. So I use whole milk, and I'll typically put in, a couple squirts. I know that's not a measurement, but a couple squirts of Karo syrup, and I'll do 3 parts. If I'm doing a dozen eggs, I'll do a whole container of the yogurt. I don't know the exact size, but you guys know which one I'm talking about. It's the biggest thing that you can buy of yogurt most of the time. And then I just dump the milk on there and get it as full as I can in that blender and whip it up. You know, and it whips just like formula, but it's so high in calorie content that it works wonders. But yeah, generally, you know, the main things, and to wrap this thing up, and hopefully it wasn't too boring, is when you have your puppies, heat, hydration, and make sure that your puppy is gaining weight, and that's the number one sign that they're getting the proper nutrition. You know, we can go into the basics of keeping the area clean, which I hope everybody already knows, but you know, you want to keep your area clean, you know, to your best of your ability. Handle your puppies with either gloves on or very, very, very thoroughly washed and sanitized hands to not transmit any diseases to your puppies. And before I go, during the time when they're nursing on the mother, they are covered for the most part immune wise off of the mother's immune system, so they're good. But remember this too: if you have to bottle feed a puppy early, his immune system is compromised earlier than a puppy who was on the milk. So as far as shots go and as far as exposure to different things, you can do the shots a little earlier, and you have to definitely be very sensitive about what's coming around the puppy, even more so because bottle fed puppies are a little more susceptible to everything than the puppies who actually get their mom's milk and immune system in them. But hopefully that helped you guys out. If you have any questions, type them in. I'm getting better at answering these things on YouTube. And I'll check you on the next video. Peace.